Pokemon Champions is coming out in just about a week, and I'm super excited for Megas, all the new Megas, finding out what their abilities are, seeing how good they're going to be in a draft like context. All that stuff is awesome. I think it's going to be really, really cool. But I was also thinking back and looking at the Megas that we had before and how they're going to work in today's day and age with all the power creep and all the crazy Pokemon we have nowadays. And the way I kind of went about this is I was looking at the most recent big draft league tournament in DWL, the Draft Winter League, and kind of looked at the Nat Dex tier because they allowed Megas. It was in a National Dex context, and I thought it would be a good kind of metric to start at. I was actually quite disappointed with a lot of the Megas. A lot of them that were great before were kind of mediocre, but there was one in particular that really, really stood out to me, and I think it's going to surprise a lot of you. And a Pokemon I think is going to be absolutely incredible in Champions for a multitude of reasons. So incredible that I actually want to kind of showcase that today. And that Pokemon is going to be Mega Banette. Yes, the Mega Banette, the Pokemon that is quite literally seen as undraftable in Gen 6 and 7 Draft League, I think is going to be absolutely incredible in Pokemon Champions when it comes out. So today we're going to go over and talk about why I think it's going to be good and go over a replay kind of showcasing it doing really well from a player in DWL that end up using it quite often. So if you guys do enjoy this video, I'd really appreciate if you drop a like as well as sub. We got plenty of content coming up for Champions, whether it be Draft League related stuff or just Pokemon, competitive Pokemon in general. I'd appreciate it a ton. But yeah, that being said, I guess we can kind of talk about it. Why do we think Mega Banette's going to be good, right? Super, weirdly distributed stats, right? 165 attack is obviously really nice, super min-maxed, and Ghost is a really strong offensive typing, but everything else kind of sucks, right? Our next highest stat being your useless special attack at 93, and then we're sitting at 75, 83, 75, very much so Gen 4, Gen 5 stats, right? Outside of the big attack stat. It was always very, very, not used. It does have a good ability in Prankster, but it felt like it was always lacking stat-wise, obviously, and also move pool-wise. Before, you could click Shadow Claw with your strong attack. That's cool, but not the strongest move in the world. Before, you had access to, Prankster moves like Will-O-Wisp and Thunder Wave and things like that, which is great, but not enough to justify using your Mega slot. I think Mega Banette got some really, really cool tools. Really quickly, we'll touch on the offensive stuff, because the offensive stuff is great. If Mega Banette keeps Poltergeist, this is a ridiculously strong Poltergeist. 110 base power, 90 accuracy, does a ridiculous amount of damage. I mean, a ridiculous amount of damage off of 165. And you pair this up with a Shadow Sneak to kind of circumvent your crappy speed. A nice little Sword Stance to boost up. And you even got access to, let me remember what it is. Sorry, physical. I think it's Skitter Smack. Is that the move we got to hit dark types? Skitter Smack and Pounce, yeah, which isn't great, obviously. I'm not going to pretend Skitter Smack is the greatest coverage move of all time. But if I'm a dark type and I'm trying to pivot in and, be a ghost immunity, I'm going to take a lot of damage from this. I'm going to take a ton of damage. Obviously, we still have to worry about normals, but not the most common typing in the world, and you can kind of push through them depending on what the matchup is. You get a strong knockoff as well, which is great for utility. Overall, got a nice little buff offensively, but this wouldn't be enough to make it draftable. We have Mega Gallade and Mega Diancie. Why the hell am I drafting Mega Banette? Well, it really does lie in its Prankster move pool, and it got one move in particular that I think makes this Pokemon super, super strong and super worth using. Encore. This Pokemon getting Encore is unbelievably incredible for it. Unbelievably incredible. I think Encore is probably a top 3 move in the Draft League format. It's very, very anti-BS or anti-Mickey. You're not getting set up and swept by really anything outside of random mental herbs for your Mega Banette, right? So I think this is a great don't lose the turn, and also a great real punisher of any passive play and fat play styles. I think this is going to be really strong for that, especially with the combination of moves like Destiny Bond, right? Also kind of guaranteed oh shit, I'm about to lose this guy. Prankster D-Bond, dead, right? And the combination of Destiny Bond and Encore can really force some endgame states. And I'll show you that in the replay. I think this combination in particular is really, really powerful. I do want to take a look at its other status moves because they are good, right? They're not bad. Prankster Pain Split, not terrible. Prankster Thunder Wave, as well as Will-O-Wisp, as well as Taunt, right? So when we add all of these things together, Prankster Curse is another option, right? To guarantee put something on a timer if you don't want to play Destiny Bond mind games and things like that. There's some really cool things this Pokemon can do. Now again, I'd like to preface this though. I do understand these are awesome tools, but why draft this when I can draft Mega Gallade and Mega Lopunny and Mega Diancie, or even one of the new broken ZA Megas that we don't know much about, right? Why would I draft this Pokemon over those? This Pokemon's cool, it has good utility, but what's the point? I think the point is its price tag. Mega Banette, you'll see right here, I'm going to scroll down, you can see it really, really small right here. In Nat Dex, now it might be a little bit more in Champions with a little bit more of a reduced Dex, But in Nat decks, DWL have this at 4 points. Compared to the Megas that were obviously better, but much more expensive. I mean, 20 points, 20 points. 17, things like that. A lot of these Pokemon really chunk into your budget. You're getting this crazy value out of a Mega Pokemon at 4 points out of the same tier that you draft Monkey Dory out of, or Lantern, or Slurpuff, Swellow, things like that. Pokemon that really aren't going to be super impactful in most games, maybe a few matchups, not most games. Mega Banette can realistically come to all these games just with its support moves alone, right? On top of Poltergeist, on top of having a move that hits Dark types, on top of having Skitter Smack, right? To hit the Dark types, being able to SD and Moon with Shadow Sneak, right? Like, there's really a ton of things this thing can do for an incredibly cheap price tag of 4 points. An incredibly cheap price tag. So I think this Pokemon's going to be really good. I really do think it's going to be worth drafting on a lot of teams as like a super strong disruptor on like offense teams that, you know, don't want to either get set up on M1 or M beat, or, you know, might struggle into like a fatter play style or something like that. And having like this Encore, Destimon, Taunt, like triple combination is just going to be really powerful. I think it's going to be really cool. Really quickly, I do want to go ahead and show you guys a replay. Soggy Doggy Sage versus TDG, two very good players in the most recent tournament, DWO, playing this, and I want to kind of showcase how powerful this Mega Banette was in this battle. We're going to go ahead and jump to that. All right, here's the battle. We're not going to super overanalyze all the turns of this. I'm not going to give like a full in-depth commentary of this battle, but we'll really quickly look over the matchup. You'll see Sage's team. Her team is very, very offensive. Coco, Tusk, Kyurem, Ogerpon, Pivot, and Mandibuzz, and then this Mega Banette. Whereas TDG's team is rocking with a Terapagos, Mega Lopunny, the Samurott Hisui, Garchomp, the Zapdos, and Bronzong. And even on Team Preview, I want you to look how threatening and how annoying this Mega Banette is. Terra Starstorm is quite strong outside of the Banette, right? You could tech on a Dark Pulse, but being able to spin block if we want to go hazards, right? If we're going like a hazard stack approach with like Rock's Tusk and like Spike's Ogerpon, really nice as spin blocker. Obviously, you can just encore it afterwards too, so it can't just like stay in Dark Pulse and spin later. You obviously punish it for clicking Starstorm, you punish it for clicking Calm Mind, you punish it for clicking Rock Polish, whatever it may be. Mega Lopunny, same thing. It clicks Fake Out on anything, or you pivot in on a Fake Out. Obviously, you'll take damage because it's scrappy, but then you're basically forcing it out by locking it into an Encore, right? So another thing to keep in mind. Zapdos, punishing Roost, Garchomp, punishing Hazards, punishing Setup on Samu, punishing Hazards or any passive play on Bronzong as well, is always going to be very, very nice in this matchup. So just on preview, Encore Mega Banette looks really, really powerful. The move Poltergeist is really strong as well. You just have to have a coverage move for like Lopunny plus Samurott. You'll see in this game it is Gunk Shot. Skitter Smack would obviously hit the Samurott way harder, but Gunk Shot's coming off a 165 base attack. It's basically going to do like, it's going to 2-hit KO both of these guys, right? So you don't have coverage for like the Dark Normal Core on this team, like those two combination of Mons. But it's fine. Same thing with the Terapagos. Like Gunk is doing a lot. You could bait a poison. You're doing a really good job at kind of forcing some progress here. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at this game. We'll see lead Ogerpon into lead Lopunny. Again, makes sense. We're gonna pivot onto Mandibuzz. You'll see it's a weak armor Mandibuzz to kind of take advantage of this guy trying to click fake outs and attacks just to outspeed it. Gotta be careful about a triple axle coming your way on a switching because you'll just die, but it's all good. Lopunny's gonna get a Toxic off from the Mandy as we see a nice U-turn. Great Tusk comes out. We're going to see a Surf from the Garchomp, not quite enough to KO, and then Great Tusk is going to blow it up with an Ice Spinner. Good positioning, right? We're going to do, try and do a little bit of damage. Just going to reveal pads right here to avoid Rough Skin Helmet, as well as avoid like static and things like that. Makes sense. Going to go ahead and just click Ice Spinner again, do a little bit of damage, die to the Hurricane. But plenty of value, right? Dead Chomp, weaken Zapdos. We're going to go ahead and see the Kyurem come back out, exert a lot of pressure right here, only real switching being something like Zong. It looks like Lopunny's going to come in, potentially trying to like Encore lock this thing as well. It's going to be DD on the Kyurem, probably try to Shadow Claw through the Bronzong. It's going to pivot out on a close combat here. It probably doesn't Oko Lopunny from full, as the Mandibuzz does come out. Again, we're kind of zooming through these early game turns, right? We're zooming through. It's going to be Helmet plus Weak Armor, and you'll see this tech does end up working out. TC's actually just going to sack off his Lopunny, expecting maybe an aggressive U-turn on the Zapdos, as it just goes down to a Brave Bird. So, really one of the best switch-ins, or one of the roadblocks to Mega Banette, also gone now, which is nice. We're going to see Bronzong come out, take a really strong Falper right here, as Trick Room goes up. But you'll see, again, Banette, this is the first time it's going to come in this game, and it's going to be really, really obnoxious. Prankster Encore is going to stop this guy from really doing anything at all, right? You can't really go hard into your Samurott because you don't switch into the Super Bowl with Trick Room up, right? If it just clicks like a mid-ground Skitter Smack, expecting this thing to switch. You do see that it's Cassibberry with a pre-Mega Frisk, and that's also another thing about Banette. You have pre-Mega Frisk, so you can kind of scout out items and understand these things, right? So that's obviously really nice. Mega Banette is going to Mega, click Encore, stop this Trick Room, and now we can kind of spam Gunk Shot, right? There's 2 Poltergeist switch-ins in the back, but it's not super worried about it, right? Zapdos does come in, takes a Gunk Shot, and just gets 2 at KO. So very nice right there for the Banette. Samurot's going to come in as we try and Destiny Bond up right here, take this Samurott down with us. As it ends up Swords Dancing, we can't Encore it, obviously, with it being a Dark type. We're going to make a pivot down to Ogerpon on yet another Swords Dance. It's pretty aggressive. As Aqua Jet does come out, Cudgel's going to come out, not do a ton of damage. Probably not a grass move on the Ogerpon, obviously. But the Coco's going to be able to come in and just barely live this hit and kind of reset tempo with a Volt Switch. And now I want you to look at this end game, right? I know this is obviously late in the game in which Banette did something, but this line is forced. This is not good for the opponent, right? Banette's going to come in. It's going to take 1 Dark Pulse regardless. We're going to go ahead and Gunk Shot and break the shell, right? If we got a Poison, game's super over. But what we can do here is we can kind of alternate between the move of Destiny Bond right here on a Dark Pulse. We don't die, unfortunately. Bronzong's going to pivot in. We Gunk Shot, try and do a little bit of damage. And right here, it's Force. You can Poltergeist the Bronzong, or you can Destiny Bond this Terapagos. You just have to get 1 play right. There's nothing TDG can do to get out of the way of this Mega Banette. This is a really, really cool endgame scenario. Again, you're going to kind of see them try and switch around it. And really the only way around it is like getting, what, 16 plays correct or something like that? Like some crazy amount of plays correct. And Sage can play pretty safely in this scenario, right? They just have to get 1 play right on this Bronzong switching in on a Poltergeist, and they're just going to be screwed. Or it's staying in on a Poltergeist, right? And they're just going to be screwed. It's like the idea of like, oh, if you win a bunch of 50-50s against Sucker Punch, you can win. It's really hard to win 8 of those in a row. It's more than 8 50-50s in a row on this, right? So it's very, very much so skewed in Sage's favor. Plus, we still have guys like DD Curum and Coco, which are obviously really strong. And you'll see they do end up getting TDG here, trying to be a little aggressive, assuming maybe a Gunk Shot might come out, and it's just going to die. And from here, you Destiny Bond, and TDG can try his best to play around the Destiny Bond. But with Encore, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. We either PP stall this out if we miss 2 Gunk Shots and then can Destiny Bond it, or lock it into like a Calm Mind or something like that, or we just win with our Banette if we hit 2 Gunk Shots. And you see, we do hit 2 Gunk Shots. It goes down, and Banette just locks up this endgame. I mean, just like, almost like in that Wolfie video when he had the Paris Trap video where he had the chess pieces and shit. That's Mega Banette in this game. I don't know. I think this is really cool. I think this Pokemon's going to be an awesome sleeper pick. I'm not saying this Pokemon is going to, like, dominate the metagame. I might say that in my title for clickbait. I'm not saying this Pokemon's going to be, like, the greatest Pokemon of all time in Champions. But I do think it has a very legitimate niche and can be very good on specific teams. And I think this is a great example of it. This team in DDWL in that deck. So, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. As long as it keeps Poltergeist. I think that's the big thing. If it's, like, only Shadow Claw still, it can't really do a lot of damage. But, yeah, really, really cool stuff. Really, really cool stuff. So, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Let me know what you think Mega Banette's going to be like. Let me know if there's other Megas you want me to cover before Champions comes out. Like, hey, what do you think this guy will do? Or if you want to see, like, a general video of, like, hey, which Megas are going to be Beast Mode, which ones are going to suck, and which ones are broken, let me know. I'm more than happy to. I'm so excited for Champions. I hope you guys are, too. I'll see you guys next time. Later.